Welcome everyone to Track Talk inside Formula 1. This is Nitin Balaji. In today's episode, we explore the best moments of the 2023 season. There have been many memorable moments like Fernando Alonso's magnificent start in Bahrain in his brand new team, or the four-way fight for the win under the lights in Singapore. Get ready to relive the pulse-pounding moments of the 2023 Formula 1 season. Our first memorable moment is Oscar Piastri's sprint victory at Qatar. Piastri's first year as an F1 driver couldn't have gone much better. In what was statistically the best rookie year since Lewis Hamilton's 2007 debut, the young Australian quickly got off the pace with the rest of the frontrunners once McLaren delivered a podium-worthy car mid-season. Of all the memorable moments Piastri provided, none were bigger than his first victory in the Qatar sprint race, and McLaren's only win of the season. Piastri started a 19-lap dash in pole position, and after losing the lead to Mercedes rival George Russell early on amid opposing tire strategies, the rookie fought back to take his first F1 victory. With the way he's driven, something tells us there should be more victories headed in his direction. The next best moment of the season is the Honey Badger, aka Daniel Ricciardo's return. Going into the 2023 season, AlphaTauri's lineup was Yuki Tsunoda and rookie Nick De Vries. In the first few races, De Vries underperformed, so the 8-time Grand Prix winner was called up to replace the struggling De Vries. The Australian took the most of his chances and rose to the occasion with remarkable skill and determination. Ricciardo had to battle through a serious wrist injury, forcing him to miss a few races. However, he proved he still got it with an unforgettable P4 start in Mexico after qualifying ahead of Sergio Perez, both Mercedes and both McLarens. Time will tell if this is the launching point to a full-time drive with Red Bull. I for one hope so. The next best moment is Hamilton's pole position at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hamilton earned pole position by pipping Max Verstappen by just 0.003 seconds, with Norris 800ths further back in third. This broke Hamilton's pole position drought with his last pole all the way back in 2021 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Not only did this pole end Hamilton's drought, but it also extended his record number of poles in his career from 103 to 104 poles. Also, Hamilton's pole scored him a record-breaking 9th pole at the Hungaroring, the most by any driver at one circuit in the history of F1. What a record-breaking performance. Shifting gears to the next memorable moment of the season, we have the Monaco Grand Prix weekend as a whole. This weekend was filled with many moments fans still remember. During free practice 3, Lewis Hamilton crashed his W14 into Mirabel Hart. This bit of the track was very cramped and made it very hard to remove the damaged car from the track safely. The only way was to use a crane, which resulted in the W14 dangling in the air for all to see. This new angle helped viewers take a clear look at Mercedes' underbody, a piece of the car teams like to keep a secret. The next day in qualifying, Sergio Perez crashed his RB19 in Saint-Devote early into Q1. Again, a crane was required and the whole paddock was able to view the complex underbody of the Red Bull. Moving on to the end of Q3, there was a fight for pole position, which at one point looked like it was going to swing towards the French driver Esteban Ocon. Then, it looked like Fernando Alonso would attain pole position. In the last stages of qualifying, Max Verstappen just pipped Fernando by just 0.084 seconds. Next day in the race started out normally, but in the last 10 laps, the rain came out of nowhere and affected the race. Teams didn't know what to do and scrambled to deal with the changing conditions. The race ended with Max Verstappen claiming P1, Fernando Alonso with P2, and a remarkable P3 by Esteban Ocon. What an exhilarating weekend. Drifting to the next best moment of the season, we have Fernando Alonso stealing the show in Bahrain. After making a heavily criticized move to Aston Martin, many wondered if Alonso lost his competitive fire. He quickly silenced his doubters with an electric season-opening drive in Bahrain that made many feel like they were watching prime Alonso from his Renault and Ferrari glory days. Alonso quickly displayed his new team's speed and skill and overtook many top runners like the Mercedes and the Ferraris. Alonso finished the race to claim an impressive P3, a result that reflected most of his season. Moving on to the next memorable moment, we have Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez's dash to the finish line in Brazil. At Sao Paulo, we saw an amazing back-and-forth battle with exceptional racecraft by two drivers who were keeping it on the limit but fair to the finish line. After holding Perez behind for a number of laps, the Red Bull driver finally jumped the two-time champion on the penultimate lap. But it's never over until the checkered flag waves. With all his years of experience, Alonso pulled off a final lap overtake on Perez before beating him to the finish line in an epic drag race that left only 0.053 seconds between them, one of the closest finishes in Formula 1 history. Our next best moment is Charles Leclerc's last lap overtake on Sergio Perez to cap off a Las Vegas thriller. Perez was involved in 2 last lap overtakes this season. Unfortunately for him, he was on the losing end in both. This time, it was Leclerc who threw his car into the braking zone behind to complete the pass on an unsuspecting Checo for second place in Las Vegas. The first race on the Las Vegas Strip was full of glitz, glamour, and bright lights, but nothing shined brighter than Leclerc's bravery. The next remarkable moment of the season is the Australian Grand Prix. This race was filled with many bizarre events. The race started with Max Verstappen losing the lead to George Russell, but a few laps later, Alex Albon binned it and the red flag was brought out. An untimely pit stop pushed Russell back and handed P1 to Verstappen. The race was then resumed, and towards the end, Kevin Magnussen put his Haas in the wall, and what should have turned out to be a safety car period turned into a complete red flag. This meant a third standing start and the prospect of a 2-lap shootout on soft tires, but just a matter of seconds passed before further contact and drama, as Sainz tipped fellow Spaniard Alonso into a spin in turn 1 bottleneck. Behind, Gasly took avoiding action and collided with his Alpine teammate Esteban Ocon, putting both drivers out of the race. After some confusion over how the race would proceed and the results would be determined, proceedings were resumed and ended in the order of the previous start, minus the cars that had been eliminated. A rolling start took the field around to the checkered flag, with Verstappen crossing the line for his first victory in Australia, as Hamilton and Alonso completed the podium. Driving into the next moment, we have Max Verstappen's home victory at the Dutch Grand Prix. Max Verstappen secured a historic 3rd consecutive victory at the Dutch Grand Prix, equaling Sebastian Vettel's record of 9 successive Formula 1 wins. The race was a roller coaster of weather and strategies, with rain turning the track into chaos. Starting on slicks, Verstappen fell to 4th, but strategic recovery put him back into contention. Despite a bone-dry track, a late rain shower added a final twist, leading to a red flag and a 7-lap dash to the finish. Verstappen maintained his composure, fending off challenges for Fernando Alonso Perez. Alonso's second place marked his first podium in over 2 months, while Perez, despite crossing the line 3rd, received a penalty, promoting Pierre Gasly to the podium. This remarkable race showcased Verstappen's resilience and skill, creating an unforgettable spectacle at the iconic Dutch circuit. Our last and best moment of the 2023 season is the Singapore Grand Prix's intense finish. Carlos Sainz is the 1 in Red Bull's 21 wins and 1 loss record in 2023, with Singapore being a circuit of nightmares for the once perfect Red Bull. Ferrari and the Spaniard used all the tactics available to take the victory. As Russell and Hamilton chased him down on fresher tires, Sainz brilliantly used McLaren's Norris to shield himself from a fast-charging Mercedes, which even caught his team by surprise. Sainz's plan worked perfectly, earning him the win and even resulting in Russell crashing out in a dramatic and unforgettable final lap. And that, speed enthusiasts, wraps up our ride through the highs and hairpin turns of the 2023 Formula 1 season. From Piastri's rookie glory to Sainz's Singapore strategy, each moment painted the track with a story. As we coast into the off-season, cherish these racing memories. I'm Nitin Balaji, signing off Track Talk. Until next time, keep your engines revving, stay safe, and tune in to our next episode.